Yes, people, that's right. The great sounds of coffee right there. But right now, we have a very special guest joining us, okay? We're going to be speaking to her live and direct. And I'm really looking forward to hearing what she has to say right here on the Big Bad Station, abrabatradio.com. And of course, big shout out to all those who've been tuning in, sending lots of positive messages, lots of positive vibes. It's always, always a blessing. Let the people know who you are and a little bit about yourself.
Hey, so it's Katy Thompson. I'm here as a patron for Black, which is the Bright Lights Awards ceremony. I'm a young person myself. I mean, I like to say I'm young. I'm 24. A mother, and my heart and soul is in community and youth engagement. So anything where we're supporting the community and young people, especially those that are classed as more vulnerable or not as privileged, then that's where my focus, my passion, and my motivation comes from.
Wow, definitely. I like that, for real. But where did that come from? Where did that kind of drive come from?
It stems from me, really. So I've been quite active in my community since the age of 12.
Okay.
And the more you grow up and the more you hear about the statistics and, you know, how you're not really meant to be successful if you're from a single parent household, if, you know, you live in a council home or a housing association house, if you don't go to university. And I'm quite a stubborn person, so I actually do not believe in those stats, and I like to encourage the faith in others to not have to believe in those stats as well. And it's about you know, not believing in fulfilling your self-prophecy from what teachers might tell you or what social workers might tell you, if you do fit in certain categories where, you know, that you kind of fall through the gap. So that's where it's come from. And I myself have matched up as one of those stereotypes. You know, I'm a young Black person and I'm an independent mother. I didn't go to university, but I like to think that I have defied all those odds and overcome those obstacles.
Definitely. I'm definitely sure you have. You know what? Sometimes pushing those boundaries has been difficult, or, you know, you face a lot of challenges. What would you say is like the biggest challenge that you've had to face so far?
I'd say mine was personally definitely becoming a mum.
Okay.
It was a personal challenge because I basically given birth to my daughter in the same sort of circumstances that I was born into. So it was making sure that she didn't feel as though, you know, those barriers were instantly up because she identified in certain categories.
Yeah.
And so it's working twice. So you're always working hard anyway, especially when you are part of those groups. But it's making sure that I've opened up those doors, not only for myself, but for my daughter as well. So it's constantly being at work and making those connections and building my network in all different fields of industries, I would say, has been one of my greatest challenges.
Yeah, definitely. For real. And I understand as well you've been a young advisor for Walton Forest Council. How did that come about? How did that happen?
It's a national charity, the Young Advisors, which is to get more young people actively involved in their community. And so they promoted it via my school. Actually, they came in. We had at the time Young Advisors that came and promote what the Young Advisors was about. And I came in through that. It's like a job. So, you know, you apply for it, then you get shortlisted, interviewed, then you have to attend a 2-day training to be accredited Young Advisor.
Okay.
Each one is set up differently, but that's how I came on board with it.
Wow, okay. And I understand as well you've got your own interest company called Powerhouse. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so it's a community interest company, and it's basically based on everything I just spoke about. So it's upskilling young people in skills and training them in sort of increasing their advantages. So it's about networking skills, about public speaking skills, as well as my passion, which is youth engagement and community engagement, as well as boosting their self-esteem and confidence.
Yeah.
I personally believe confidence is key. You need it in all spheres of life, as well as public speaking, and again, increasing your networks.
Definitely, 100%. So, of course, how did you get involved in the Black Awards or the Black organisation as a whole? How did that happen?
That actually came through. So I'm also an ambassador for the Violent Crime Prevention Board, which is looking about different angles at tackling violence within London. And one of the ambassadors, Dame Claudine, actually came through and promoted the Black Awards and was saying, share it, get people nominated. And I've never seen anything like it, the Black Awards. I've never seen an awards organization to really promote the other young people that aren't always academically successful in life. So it really touched home with me. So I put forward saying I'm happy to help either way I can. And so I came on board as a Black patron.
Okay. And what does that actually mean? Because, when people hear patron, lots of times they don't know what that actually means. So what does it mean to you?
It's about not just promoting, but embodying the values of Black, and really believing in what its aims are, which is, again, to celebrate the minor battles and the wins that we go through every single day that are often overlooked in a statistical sphere. So it's we're often congratulating people on completing their degrees in university, but we're not congratulating them in even attending school or 100% punctuality or whatever it may be. And for some people, that is a huge battle. It's a struggle sometimes to attend school every single day. It's a struggle to say no to friends. It's a struggle to be like a young carer, for example, and still do well in life. So it's about celebrating those wins, those everyday battles.
Yeah. 100% agree with that. And I understand as well there's different categories, and there's a new one this year called Best Promoter category. Tell us something about that one.
This is the Best Promoter category. So this is there's loads of categories that people can identify with, but the Best Promoter category is something, again, we'll be proud of, as it's for around the whole of the UK. I tend to find that promoters are often the background people that do a lot of the work.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, stuntmen in movies, they don't really get celebrated. They make the event or the movie or whatever it is, what it is. And so it's about acknowledging that, recognizing that, respecting that, and again, praising them for the work that they do. So it's across the UK, Best Promoter, and that's something we really want to bring forth. If anybody identifies that category, if they want to nominate somebody, again, doesn't have to be something major they've done, but if you feel as though it's worth acknowledging, put them through, nominate them for Best Promoter.
Yeah, 100%. And somebody's asked a question, they're asking how important is it to recognise the good in the community, considering there's so much bad stuff happening out there? How important do you think it is?
I think that you can't put a price on the importance and significance that's happening in and around. I think there's always an emphasis on what's going wrong within our communities, especially amongst certain cohorts of individuals as well. I feel as though there's not enough emphasis on what we are doing right and what individuals are doing right as well. So to have that good news story, it's not just a story, it's everyday life, really. It's invaluable, because you need to remind ourselves that there is an increased levels of safety, there's increased level of amazing stuff that is happening in and around us, but there's always a focus on the negative. And as a mum as well, it kind of makes you think twice about certain things you want to put your child forward to, or certain communities you want your child to grow up in. I feel as though we start to lose that culture a bit when we are thinking twice about where we want to raise our children, types of schools we want to go to. So again, about emphasizing that importance of knowing what's good out there is A1. You can't really put a price on that.
For real. We just got another question come through. They're asking, what struggles have you faced being a female in these particular roles that you've played in?
There's quite a few. One I'm still trying to tackle now, which is where I'm entering a political career. So as a young female, because in my face I look a lot younger than what I am, which I'm often reminded of. It's about, I suppose, getting an equal level of respect and acknowledgement. Yeah. And it's simple things where I would say stuff like the way they might approach you in names, for example, it would be Katy Thompson, whereas a male counterpart or an older woman counterpart, they'll just they'll just call me Katie and pronounce someone as their full name as well.
Okay.
And it's little things like that where you're showing that you don't give me as much credit as you would a male counterpart or an older person counterpart. I would say I'm quite an outgoing, very confident, outspoken person. So I personally feel no way in calling out people in their, whether it's their discrimination or their ignorance, and teaching them that. And I think that's the important thing that goes under the radar, is that you have to kind of teach these and point out these, but not really as equal as well.
Yeah.
Hello, sorry.
No worries, still here.
Forefront. But I'm kind of proud to say that I haven't really had to face much discrimination against me personally. Again, I think it's because I'm quite an outgoing person. So
Yeah, you call it out. That's good. That's good though.
Many people are quite confident when it comes to like just asking me the question, is it okay if I called you this? Again, single parents, I don't like the term single mom, so I'm one and open to tell people I identify as an independent mother rather than a single mom. And it's given those other people the confidence to be able to call it out, to be comfortable in how they're addressed as well and how they're treated.
Yeah, 100%. This is quite a question, I suppose. They've asked, can the world be a bit too politically correct? It's quite open out there for you.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of in that position now. I don't think there's anything wrong in being politically correct, because it's about respecting others, whether how they identify themselves or, how they live their way of life, and how they what faith or anything they believe in. I think that's something we're going in the right direction with.
Okay.
So people are getting a little bit more confident in terms of letting people know that it's no longer a traditional world, that you don't have to kind of keep under the radar about certain things the way you want to be true in yourselves. But it also puts other people in an awkward position who sometimes don't really know how to address things.
Okay.
And there can sometimes always be too many ways to go about addressing somebody politically correct. But I personally don't feel as though there's anything wrong with that. It's just about taking the time out to learn and understand the individual that you are in conversation with or want to connect with.
Definitely. And I know you're very passionate about empowering individuals. And, if there's somebody out there, especially a young person, who's feeling a bit vulnerable or down, what kind of advice would you give them?
100% believe in yourself, believe in your truth. One thing I do with my daughter, who is 4 years old, every single morning, without a doubt, is affirmation.
Okay.
I'm very conscious that, again, with the categories that people are going to box her in, that it might bring her down. And I know it's probably the same for other young people, especially where my daughter is brown skin, like Kelly Rowland Shayla, and I'm light skinned. So I know it's going to be something that she's constantly going to be questioned about when she's older. So affirmation, it might seem a bit cringy and like, ugh, I don't really want to do that. But telling yourselves and believing in yourself that you are powerful, you are strong, you are beautiful, you are able, you are determined, and you're more than worthy every single day, it triggers something in your brain.
Yeah.
And it makes you really feel that on the inside, and you show that more on the outside. It doesn't matter what your circumstances are. It doesn't matter about your background. It doesn't matter the hardcore experiences you've had. You need to tell yourself that, because no one else is going to tell you that at all.
Yeah.
And you need to believe it within yourself. So that's what I would always start with. And then also find yourself like-minded individuals who aren't going to bring you down. Every time you tell yourself something good, you don't need somebody telling you two things bad.
Yeah, 100% agree. Because you know what, a lot of the time people find it very difficult to say anything positive. Have you noticed it's always negative about self?
Yeah.
So it's quite difficult, but lots of people are sending in their positive messages saying that they agree with you 100%. And somebody's asked, how do you do that every day? Do you ever forget with your daughter? I'm sure you don't.
No. In my house, we have a long mirror at the bottom of our steps.
Yeah.
So every time before she heads out for school, she has to stand in that mirror. It's just easier for us. And we walk to school as well. So it's about having those conversations, not just staying in silence when you're walking to school. It's having those encouraging, positive conversations with your children as well and young people every step of the way. And if you drive to school, it's about having that conversation whenever you can. It takes no longer than about 40 seconds.
Yeah.
And I don't tell her what to say. She has to choose.
Okay.
So it might be like her hairstyle, or she likes that she's kind, or she has good friends, or I'm loved. And if she says that I'm loved, then she has to say who loves her, like who loves you.
Yeah.
And if she names like friends, family members, it's every single day. It doesn't take much. And you tend, the more you do, you tend to find that you have it in conversation anyway.
Yeah.
That's just it. Just naturally flows between my daughter and I. Again, I've been doing that since she was more or less born. So the way, if you kickstart now, you have more positive conversations with your young people.
Yeah, 100%. You know what? I like that. I like that style and energy, for real, 100%. And of course, you know, people are asking me, how can they get in touch with you? How can they, you know, contact yourself and Black as an organization? Do you have a number or an email that people can contact either yourself or Black?
Yeah, so for myself, I do have an email address. I'm not on any social media, which is like, gasp, I know. But
it's good. That's good.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay that way too. But yes, we do also have an email for Black, which I don't know off the top of my head, but I can always text it to you, DJ Kat, if that's okay.
100%.
But yeah, please do get through to me via my email as well, for any other questions as well.
Definitely. You know what? It's been a blessing talking to you and understanding a bit more about you. And I'm sure we're going to hear a lot more, you know, because there's so many comments coming in about the different positive things that you're doing. And all I can say, sis, is just keep doing what you're doing. And you know what? Just keep on being you and standing out, because I love that.
Thank you. I appreciate that a lot, honestly.
Anytime. And you're always welcome. Anything you've got coming up, just let me know. Gladly push it out there, for real.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you. And again, thank you all for your kind comments. I appreciate it.
Anytime. Have a blessed rest of the day. Keep going, yeah?
Real, thank you. Just quickly, I do have the email.
Oh, okay. That was quick.
So it's easiest to go to the website first, which is black.org.uk. And then following up with the email is info@black, again, blac.org.uk.
Great. Thank you very much. I'm going to put that out there as well. And I just want to say again, thank you for your time and your efforts. I really appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you. Thank you for this opportunity. Again, guys, put forward your nominations. The categories are wide and varied. I'm sure there's something for everyone there.
Definitely, 100%. Thank you, sis. Have a blessed rest of the day.
Thank you. You too.
Okay, bye. Yes, people, big shout out to Katy each and every time. It's always a blessing. And of course, please do go out there, go and show some love, go and show some support, go and nominate. And of course, big shout out to all those sending in lots of positive comments, questions. It's always a blessing. We're now taking you to Taurus Riley.
You're listening to DJkat on the Kat-a-lyst show. Arawak Radio, Coventry, UK. Our Father, how excellent is thy name. Better than all your works, greatly to be praised.